Good evening, Magic players. It's your girl Ivy. We're going to go ahead and take a look at one of the new Commander decks for 2018. It's called Adaptive Enchantment. I already went ahead and removed the packaging so that we could speed up the video a little bit. You know, sometimes it's annoying to watch people have to spend 3 minutes tearing something apart. So I figured why not? Let's just jump right into it. I really think that, I've been playing Magic since I was a really little girl. And it's just always been fun, and I've had a lot of friends that like this, and I think Commander, honestly, for the older players, I really believe this may be the thing that really keeps Magic the Gathering going over the next several years, because it's a very casual format. You only really need one of each card instead of four. Maybe it's not quite as a competitive thing. You don't have to devote all your weekends to it. It's much, much more casual. I really see a bright and a good future for Commander. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to take a look at this deck. And first things first, let's pull it up and take a look and see what we got, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the Commander first. Let's see here. Commander is Estrid. Estrid the Masked. She's a legendary planeswalker. Untap each enchanted permanent you control. Create a white aura enchantment token named Mask attached to another target permanent. The token has enchant permanent and totem armor. Put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard. Return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards. Estrid the Mask can be your commander. So she's interesting. This I've never played a deck like this that uses a lot of enchantments and totem armor and stacking enchantments. I think the closest thing to this is my Daxos. I have a Daxos commander deck. Daxos is the commander, and a lot of times I try to attach, like Sword of Body and Mind to them or some other either equipment, mostly equipment, but I do have some enchantments in that specific commander deck that I try to attach to Daxos. But right now, we're going to go ahead and talk about this deck and see what we can find out. All right, moving on. Next card is going to be Tuvasa the Sunlit. Tuvasa the Sunlit gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Whenever you cast your first enchantment spell each turn, draw a card. Pretty cool. And we've got Kestia the Cultivator. It's a legendary creature, of course. It looks like this could be used as a commander at some point. It has a bestow cost, and the bestow ability, I haven't really used this very often, but I have seen in the past this in a couple cards, I believe. But it says if you cast this card for its bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. Fascinating. So if the creature dies, it just kind of disconnects like equipment and turns back into a creature. Pretty cool. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4. Whenever an enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control attacks, draw a card. Good stuff for card draw. Okay. Can't stop that. Good stuff, huh? All right, next one's going to be this one. Seaside Citadel. It's typical triple land. You get three colors of mana. Comes into play tap, but you know what? I guess that's how they do it, but maybe someday they'll make a card that 3 mana comes into play untapped. Could you imagine? People probably spend a lot of money for that, I bet, huh? Who knows? Maybe that's an idea for Wizards of the Coast, huh? We got this one. Looks like it's enchant creatures, an aura. When Sage's Reverie enters the battlefield, draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. I see that would be useful. Loyal Guardian. He has trample. He's also a lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Could be useful. You can always use that in a different build too. Loyal Drake, flying. Another lieutenant card. Obviously, you can see what it does. Gives you some card draw. Very useful. Good stuff. And a unicorn. How about that, huh? It's Charlie the Unicorn. Back again. Gonna get taken to Candy Mountain. Yep, unicorn. All right, looks like we have some tokens. This is what they look like. They're double-sided tokens. You know, I guess that's pretty cool if you need the tokens to come out, especially for the ability on the commander. I could see why you'd want to use a mass token. Anyway, we'll go ahead and move past the tokens. I'm sure you know what a token is. Not really, it's all that exciting. Although I love the angel art, I will say. Look how pretty the angel is. Beautiful, huh? All right. And just so you can see the art on the cat, there's a cat token. Okay. All right, so we have this. It's a Simic Growth Chamber. Comes into play tapped. It gives you the 2 colors of mana. Pretty good. I'll probably replace this. If I'm going to continue with this deck, I'll probably replace this card with a different 2-color card of the same color that has less clauses on it. Won't come into play tap probably. All right, the next card we have is an enchantment. It's going to be Soul Snare. If you look at the card, we've got sacrifice Soul Snare, exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. That's really useful. Wow. It's kind of like, well, maybe a little bit like Path to Exile, but it does cost 2, I guess, to do this. But I could see how that'd be really useful. Next up, it's going to be Krufix Insight. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 3 enchantment cards from among them into your hand, and the rest of the revealed cards into the graveyard. Good stuff. Fertile Ground, great card. Always useful for some land draws, and definitely in getting your mana ramp up. Good stuff. Next up, we get Dawn's Reflection. Enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 2 mana and any combination of colors. That's really useful. Wow. Good enchantment. Aura Gnarlid. Creatures with power less than this can't block it. When Aura Gnarlid gets a +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield. Pretty cool. Definitely can see why they put it in the deck. We got Whitewater Naiads. Constellation, you know, I think I only saw this maybe once, and that was back in the Theros block, if I remember correctly. Whenever Whitewater Naiads or another enchantment enters the battlefield under control, target creature can't block this turn. Definitely useful. Good stuff. Eel Umbra. It's good, an eel. It's surrounded by an eel force field. That's funny. Flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Enchantment creature. Enchanted creatures you control have flying. Creatures your opponents control lose flying and can't gain flying. Wow, that actually is pretty strong. I could see a lot of good uses for something like that in a variety of different commander decks I have. I might keep this deck, or I might start parting it out into other decks. Seems pretty useful. Unquestioned Authority. You can see what it does. I'm sure people have used this card in other things before. Enchanted creature has protection from creatures. That's pretty darn useful, especially if you're going against a tribal deck or something with a lot of creatures in it. Vow of Flight. Pretty useful. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. It has flying and can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. That is really cool. Yavimaya Enchantress. Beautiful art on this one. This is a reprint of an old card. I think they've reprinted it a few times by now, but you know, you can see what it does. She definitely gets a buff if there's more enchantments out there. I can see why they would throw it in there. You take your land. Get more mana. Useful. Vow of Wildness. Never played this card, but I can see why someone would in a deck like this. Pretty useful. Snake Umbra. Enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. It's got totem armor. Useful. Reclamation Sage. Can destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Overgrowth. Get additional mana. And let's see, Nylea Colossus. Another constellation. Whenever Nylea Colossus or another enchantment enters the battlefield under control, double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. That's pretty amazing. Jeez. Oh my goodness. I can see that really taking off real quick. All right, we got Myth Unbound. It's enchantment. Your commander costs 1 less to cast for each time it's been cast from the command zone this game. Whenever your commander is put into the command zone from anywhere, draw a card. This is amazing. Wow. This is a really great commander card because, I mean, your commander tax goes down by 1, it looks like. And you're getting card draw on top of that, too. This is amazing. I'd probably put this on a different deck. Wow. Genesis Storm. When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Well, with the reduction in commander attacks, geez, that's a huge help right there. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. You may put that card into the battlefield, then put all cards revealed this way that weren't put in the battlefield on the bottom of your library in a random order. Really cool. Alright, next one is Octopus Umbra. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 8/8. And has, whenever this creature attacks, you may tap target creature with power 8 or less. Good stuff. Everwatching Threshold. Whenever an opponent attacks you or a planeswalker you control with 1 or more creatures, draw a card. So much amazingness there. So much card draw. I put that in my wizard deck. Next, we got an enchantment. You may have Estrid's Invocation. Enter the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment you control, except it gains. Beginning of your upkeep, you may exile this enchantment. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. That's pretty cool. Interesting. Bounce enchantments. I like the art on this one. I have a thing for angels. They're really cool. Flying, double strike. When Heavenly Blade Master enters the battlefield, you may attach any number of auras or equipments you control to it. That is really cool. Basically, it sounds like it's turning auras almost into the same as equipment. So you can just move them around your creatures. Something you might not normally be able to do, but there's certainly something like this would help you do that. Imperial Storm. When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone in this game. Create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Very useful. Especially if people are killing your commander. Yep, the old standby. I don't think there's a commander deck out there that doesn't have Soul Ring in it. So, yeah, I think you know what it does. Unflinching Courage. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Good stuff. Okay, this comes from Alara. Bant Charm. Choose one. Destroy target artifact. Put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. Counter target instant spell. How about that, huh? Alara card. Martial Coup. I've actually used this in a token build deck that I have. You can pretty much see that it creates soldier tokens, and you can destroy all other creatures. I actually played this card yesterday, and the guy countered it and made it go 2 places down in my library. It's kind of weird. But he countered it because he didn't want all the creatures to go and all my tokens to be the only thing left. Celestial Archon. You can see what it does. Very useful. First strike, +4/+4. Good stuff. Johnny's Chosen. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under control, create a 2/2 white creature token. Interesting. You know, if I combine tokens and enchantments, this might actually do something cool. Never know. Bruna. I've used Bruna in an angel deck before. I think she's actually in my Daxos deck, so she's got the same colors as Daxos, and he's the commander. So you can see what Bruna does if you've never seen Bruna before. Whenever she attacks or blocks, you may attach it to any number of auras in the battlefield, and you may put it into the battlefield attached to any number of aura cards that you could enchant it from your graveyard and or hand. Hydra Omnivore. Whenever Hydra Omnivore deals damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Wow, that's really brutal. So if there's a player that's open, you hit that person, then they all take 8 damage. And then, of course, if you add additional counters or increases his health or increase his toughness or his attack, primarily. Could really do some serious damage with that. I don't imagine in a 4-player game he's going to stick out very long. I think he would get countered pretty quick or removed. Okay, this is a very unusual card. I think this may be unique to this set because I've never seen it anywhere else. Of course, in the comments you can correct me if this came out somewhere else, but I've never seen this card. It's a legendary creature, Kraken. Araxmethes, Slumbering Isle, enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. As long as Araxmethes has a slumber counter on it, it's a land. Whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from Araxmethes. And while it's a thing where it's not really anything you're playing with, you can use it for mana. It's pretty cool. I gotta admit, this is really unique. And it's a 12/12. If you can get this off, it's really strong. Wow. Just gotta find keep it on the battlefield. Ravenous Slime. Remove a Ravenous Slime can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. If a creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile it and put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the creature's power on Ravenous Slime. Pretty cool. Winds of Wrath. Then you can see how that would be really useful in this deck. Very useful. Silent Sentinel. Whenever a Silent Sentinel attacks, you may return target enchantment card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Wow. I just think maybe 7 CMC is a bit high, but you never know. Maybe we can get that off or something. I have definitely used this card. In fact, it's in another deck. It's in the Daxos deck. Very useful. Let's see what it does. It creates angel tokens. We got this one, Phyrexian Rebirth. Destroy all creatures. Board wipe. Then create a XX colorless horror artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. In Commander, this could be brutal, especially if someone's playing a token build or they're going tribal things and then they've got a bunch of tokens on the field. This could get really big very fast. And also just act as a board wipe. Boon Satyr. Flash and Bestow. Enchanted creature gets +4, +2. Whatever. Pretty normal stuff. Bear Umbra. It's basically kind of like, Seaborn Muse on an enchantment or a creature. You can stick it on any. It's a Seaborn Muse. You can stick on any creature for 4. Useful. Dictate of Krufix. Definitely not Prophet of Krufix. I think the guy was banned in Commander, but oh well. Definitely useful. Flash. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. That's pretty cool. Kind of like a Howling Mine or something. Useful, I guess. And we got, let's see, Epic Proportions. It's pretty obvious what it does. Not a big deal there. And we've got Enchantress Presence. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. I can see how that's useful. Art on this is beautiful. I'm pretty sure it's Rebecca Guay. Yep, watercolors. If I ever see her at a convention or something, I'm definitely going to see if I can get her to autograph some of my cards. And she's been with Magic at least 20 years that I know of. Eidolon of Blossoms. Constellation. Whenever Eidolon of Blossoms or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Good stuff. Dismantling Blow. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If this spell was kicked, draw 2 cards. Good stuff. And we got this guy. Looks like he's ready to start destroying the swamps. Okay. Choose a permanent type. Return all cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to your hand. I choose enchantments. I'm assuming that's the point. Mosswort. Hideaway. You basically can just take a card and put it somewhere, and once you get the threshold indicated, you can put it into play. I've actually used this. I got this off once. It was actually, one time it was useful. Righteous Authority. You can see what he does. Well, it's an enchantment anyway. Snora. It's funny, I never really used a lot of auras. I do use them in one deck, but this has a lot of different auras that give me ideas to probably use for the other deck. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, if it's the first combat phase of turn, untap that creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. That's really good. Jeez. So useful. Elderwood Scion. There it is. Good stuff. Daxos. This guy. I use him as commander in a different deck. It's really good because if you read here, you know, when he deals combat damage to a player, I can exile the top card of that player's library. You may gain life equal to the card's converted mana cost. Good stuff. Next up, we got Cold-Eyed Selkie, Island Walk. Whenever Cold-Eyed Selkie deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards. Well, it's a 1/1, but I'm sure if you buff this, enchant it, or add counters to it, or whatever you want to do with it, this thing could be really, really pretty wild, pretty quick, huh? Good stuff. Spawning Grounds, Enchant Land. You're turning a land into a tote. Create a... Wow, this is pretty amazing. CMC is really high, but I don't know, maybe in a mana ramp right deck, you could start pumping out tokens like crazy with this. Could be useful. Herald of the Pantheon. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life. That's pretty useful, especially in this deck. Makes them all cheaper. Ground Seal. That is really useful. Especially when a lot of people play zombies or graveyard, trolling their graveyard for cards or things like that. Now it's an island. Oh, look, it's an island. Wow, amazing. You can see through it. Isn't that cool? Anyway, moving onward. I'm sure you don't want to see basic lands. Those aren't all that exciting, but there are some pretty ones. Maybe let me just pick one out that I think is really kind of nice. I don't know. We'll say, I don't know. Let's pick up. A lot of people like islands. We'll just say we'll look at that island. Whatever. I don't think you care. So I'm going to go ahead and say that there's a command tower. I think just about every commander deck has one of these. So we're good. We're good to go. Next we got Forge of Heroes. I can add a colorless. I can choose target commander that entered the battlefield this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if it's a creature, and a loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker. That's seriously useful. I could see... There's tap every turn. Tap. Really? Well, I think I'm going to pull this and put it in a different deck. Jeez. That's really cool. I want that. I don't think I have one of those. And I do believe that pretty much wraps up what we got going on here. The only thing really left would be some interplay tapped lands like this. Then you untap it, you get the 2 mana, whatever. A lot of stuff I could easily replace with other cards that are, better. I'm sure you've seen these, just tap lands. So that should wrap up the Commander Adaptive Enchantment deck. So hopefully that these gives you guys an idea what you can do with it. I see a lot of potential with this deck in that honestly the cards, if you combine them with maybe that commander's okay. I could see how it could be used. But a lot of these cards can be pulled out and probably put in some other decks where you have a build where your commander, you're trying to enchant your commander, you're trying to I could easily see somebody, doing that, to try to make their commander, very difficult to get rid of, to, reduce the commander attacks, all those things that are in there, I really think that what's in there could really, really help out a lot of existing commander decks, or this particular one. I mean, I gotta give Wizards credit. It really has a lot going for it, and I don't see any reason why, if you just replace it with some of the lands, you could easily play this deck and probably have a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or just want to make some comments about this particular deck build review, or maybe any suggestions, by all means, go ahead and leave comments, and I'll be glad to read those, and I should reply to them. Alright, so thank you for watching my video tonight, and I hope you enjoy playing Magic. Good time.